how to eliminate sugar cravings and stabilize blood glucose levels. In this video, you will learn why is it so hard to resist sugar? How does sugar affect the brain, metabolism, and energy? What are the main causes of uncontrollable sugar cravings? What habits can help you reduce sugar consumption? Have you ever noticed how a piece of chocolate seems to be calling your name, even if you've just had a full meal, or how it's almost impossible to resist a beautifully displayed dessert case, even when your stomach isn't sending any hunger signals? This feeling is familiar to so many people, and at times it seems completely uncontrollable. But what exactly is behind this irresistible craving for sweets? Why, even when we understand the potential harm sugar can do to our health, is it so hard to resist another candy, pastry, or slice of cake? Is it just a habit ingrained in our behavior since childhood? Or is it something more, perhaps an addiction, similar to what people experience with caffeine, nicotine, or even more serious substances? Could it be that our brains are somehow wired to love sweets, making it nearly impossible to resist? Or are there complex biochemical processes at play involving hormones and neurotransmitters? Maybe it's all about emotions. Perhaps our craving for sweets is actually a way to cope with stress, fatigue, or a lack of positive emotions. Let's dive deeper into why it's so difficult to control our desire for sweets and what mechanisms drive this process. A love for sweets is not just a random whim or a sign of weakness. It's something much more fundamental, deeply rooted in our biology. The craving for sweets is hardwired into us through evolution, as it played a vital role in our ancestors' survival. Imagine an ancient human living in a world where finding food was a challenging and unpredictable process. Hunting could be unsuccessful, and plant-based food wasn't always available. In such conditions, sweet foods, ripe wild fruits, honey, and root vegetables rich in natural sugars became a true lifesaver. They provided the body with quick carbohydrates, which immediately gave energy for movement, hunting, and protection from dangers. Moreover, in nature, a sweet taste usually signaled that a food was safe to eat, unlike bitter or sour tastes, which could indicate toxic or spoiled substances. Over time, our brains learned this mechanism. They began to perceive sweetness as an instant source of energy, activating the reward system and producing pleasurable sensations when consuming sugar. For centuries, this evolutionary mechanism helped humans survive in an environment with limited resources. But the world has changed. Today, sugar is no longer a rare find. It has become one of the most widely available ingredients in food. We no longer get it only from natural sources like fruit or honey. It hides everywhere in sugary drinks, baked goods, sauces, yogurt, granola, bread, and even in foods we consider healthy. The problem is that while our bodies have remained the same as those of our ancestors, our diet has changed dramatically. We consume sugar in amounts far greater than nature ever intended, yet our brains still react to it as if we were living in food-scarce conditions. This is why the craving for sweets can feel nearly uncontrollable. So how can we escape this evolutionary trap and learn to consume sugar consciously? The answer lies in understanding how sugar affects us and what mechanisms drive our cravings. When we eat something sweet, a whole chain of reactions begins in the body. At first, it feels great, an energy boost, alertness, an improved mood. But then the opposite happens. Blood sugar spikes quickly, only to crash just as fast, leading to fatigue, irritability, and sometimes even hunger. And what do? That's right, we reach for another sweet treat to feel good again. So why are we so drawn to sugar? It all comes down to dopamine, the so-called pleasure hormone. When we eat something sweet, the brain rewards us generously with dopamine. It feels good, it feels pleasant, but here's the catch. The brain quickly gets used to this pleasure and demands more. It works almost like an addiction. The more often we indulge in sweets, the harder it is to stop. And now think about how often you crave chocolate when you're feeling down. That's no coincidence. Our brain quickly learns to find an easy way to feel better. I'm sad. I eat sweets. I feel good. It's that simple, but the problem is that this only works temporarily. Soon, the craving for sweets returns, and the cycle repeats itself. And this is why the average person consumes up to 50 kilograms, 110 pounds of sugar per year. That's multiple times more than what the body actually needs. And sugar isn't just in candy or soda, it's hidden in places we don't even expect. In bread, yogurt, sauces, cereals. We eat massive amounts of it without even realizing it. And this doesn't come without consequences. When there's too much sugar, the body starts to suffer. Excess weight builds up much faster. Sugar isn't just empty calories, it also disrupts metabolism. The body doesn't have time to burn off all this energy, so it gets stored as fat. The skin reacts too. Acne, inflammation, loss of elasticity, premature wrinkles, all of these are effects of excessive sugar consumption. Sugar breaks down collagen, meaning the skin repairs itself more slowly and ages faster. Energy problems become a constant issue. When we overload on sugar, the pancreas works overtime to produce insulin. At some point, the cells stop responding to it properly. This is called insulin resistance. The result? Constant fatigue, lack of energy, difficulty concentrating. The risk of diabetes doesn't go away either. The more sugar in the blood, the higher the strain on the body. Over time, this can lead to type 2 diabetes, which then requires serious lifestyle changes. Sugar also triggers inflammation. It affects the immune system, increases internal inflammatory processes, and this in turn can lead to numerous problems, from feeling unwell to serious diseases. We tend to think of sweets as just a small pleasure, but when there's too much of it, it's no longer a pleasure, it's a direct threat to health. Now here's the good news. You can take control of your sugar cravings. First, it's important to understand that this isn't about weak willpower. These are biological processes, and you can work with them. The key is to develop new habits that help reduce the need for sugar. Try replacing fast carbohydrates with healthy fats and proteins. When your diet includes enough protein and healthy fats, hunger stays away for longer. Blood sugar levels remain stable, and those sudden sugar cravings disappear. Nuts, fish, eggs, and avocados are great options. Don't forget about slow-digesting carbohydrates. Vegetables, legumes, and whole grains provide energy without causing sharp spikes in blood sugar. They also help you avoid the sugar swing, where you first get an energy boost, only to crash shortly after. Fiber is your best friend. Vegetables, fruits, and whole grains keep you feeling full and prevent blood sugar fluctuations. Drink more water. The brain often confuses thirst with hunger, making you reach for something sweet instead of just drinking a glass of water. So before grabbing a chocolate bar, try drinking some water. It might be all you need. Move more. Any physical activity helps reduce sugar cravings. It can be anything: a walk, a jog, yoga, or dancing at home to your favorite music. The key is to stay active. Get enough sleep. When we don't sleep well, the body produces more of the hunger hormone, ghrelin. And when we feel hungry, we naturally reach for the quickest source of energy, sugar. A good night's sleep is already half the battle against sugar cravings. And finally, stress. It's directly linked to the urge to eat, especially sweets. When we're stressed, our body looks for comfort, and that's usually something sugary. That's why it's important to manage stress in other ways. Breathing exercises, walks, and meditation work much better than another chocolate bar. Now let's talk more about the essential micronutrients that help regulate blood sugar levels and reduce sugar cravings. One of them is chromium. It plays a key role in carbohydrate and fat metabolism. It helps the body use insulin correctly, meaning blood sugar levels stay stable. And when there are no sudden glucose spikes, it's much easier to control eating habits and resist sugary treats. Scientists have found that a lack of chromium can be one of the reasons behind constant sugar cravings. This is because this micronutrient helps regulate sugar metabolism. If there isn't enough of it, glucose levels fluctuate, and the brain immediately looks for a quick way to restore energy, of course, with sugar. So, chromium not only stabilizes blood sugar, but also reduces hunger pangs, which is especially helpful for those who frequently snack on sweets. The most effective form of this micronutrient is chromium polynicotinate. It is better absorbed and can genuinely help those who want to be less dependent on sugar. So yes, controlling sugar cravings is absolutely possible. The key is knowing how to support your body. It all depends on proper nutrition, enough physical activity, and supporting your body with essential micronutrients. When you start incorporating these simple habits into your life, you'll notice a difference in how you feel. More energy, a stable mood, a lighter body, and of course, more control, not only over your desire for sweets, but over your health as a whole. Take the first step today, and your body will definitely thank you.